Well, an Australian author who's been missing in China has surfaced, telling the ABC he expects to leave the country within days. Dr Yang Hengjun disappeared on Sunday and he's thought to have been held by secret police because of his questioning of China's human rights record. Family, friends and the Australian government have been very concerned about his welfare. China correspondent Stephen McDonell managed to speak to the author today and he joins us now from Beijing. What did Dr Yang tell you, Stephen?
Well, I was quite surprised to get through to him, as you can imagine. We've been trying to reach Yang Hengjun since the weekend when he disappeared, and when he picked up the phone, and I suppose he was surprised too maybe that I got through. He sounded quite flustered and said he didn't have very long to speak, not long enough, for example, to do a recorded interview, but he did say he'll have more to say about what's happened to him in the coming days when he leaves China. How is he going to leave China? Well, he said he'll be travelling from Guangzhou to Hong Kong tomorrow, and his friends say he'll then go from Hong Kong to Australia. The only other interesting thing he said was, he said to me at one stage, "I've improved a lot over the last couple of days." Now, that seemed to be a reference to this stuff about his health, him being sick, that he said to his friends. And some of his friends have speculated that this is an excuse which has been cooked up to allow him to be released by the authorities and for China to save face in all of this. It'll be interesting to see when he finally gets to Australia how openly he can speak about all of this.
Now, Stephen, I presume you asked him whether he was in detention, whether the secret police had picked him up. Did you get an answer?
Well, no, not one way or the other. He just sort of said, things like, "I'm okay." It sounded very much, though, like when he was speaking, that there was someone there with him. And this conversation didn't go on for very long, I might add. I mean, maybe it was, under 2 minutes. And I said, "Yeah, have you been held?" But no, he didn't directly say no or yes, just, "Oh, I'm okay now."
Now, what is the Australian government saying about this tonight? Because I gather they've made contact with him as well.
Well, the interesting thing is that the Consul General in Guangzhou has issued a statement, and he has told them, and they've officially sort of said this, that he was not being held by Chinese secret police. And as you mentioned in the intro, we have all assumed that was the case because of his controversial writings about Chinese human rights, that when he went missing, the assumption was he's being held by the secret police as part of this general crackdown in China at the moment. But he's told the Consul General in Guangzhou, and that person has put it on the record that that's what he's said. Now, again, this could be just a way of getting him released and out of China. I suppose they're also duty-bound to report that. If that's what they've been told by Dr Yang, well, that's what they've got to say.
Now, if it proves that he has been detained by the Chinese secret police, won't the Chinese be in breach of the consular agreement that they have to inform Australian officials of every arrest?
They certainly will be. They're supposed to have said by yesterday afternoon if he was being held, which again could be one of the reasons that this excuse is, if it turns out to be that, being concocted, that he was sick and there's something wrong with his phone and that's why he's gone missing for days. But under the agreement, as you said, China and Australia, if somebody is detained in either of those countries, the authorities have to inform the other country within 3 days that they're being held. Now, because China has not done that to Australia, if he's been held, then China is in breach of that agreement.
Now, finally, Stephen, you've spoken to some of his friends, including some who don't live that far away from him. Now, presumably if he was home or if he was nearby and not very well, they would have found him by now. Have they been making efforts to try and work out where he is?
Yes, they have, and they also don't seem to have seen him yet. Mind you, I spoke to one of them today. Apparently there's a planned meeting tomorrow, but no, they still haven't seen him yet. And I think, the weights sound like they're being put on them as well to toe the line on this story, because the tone speaking to them has also changed. They're also sort of suggesting, or maybe he has been sick, but in the most half-hearted way, a way that you wouldn't really believe it. It may be some time till we get to the bottom of all of this.
It certainly will. Hopefully the mystery will be resolved in the next couple of days. We thank you very much for that again, Stephen.